But first, two things, and I'll start with good news. Yet another reason to think that our courts, well, not all of our courts, have yet given up the fight against some of our modern idiocies. But do you remember, though, the bad news last year? 8 children, and I stress children, sued the Federal Environment Ministers to stop an extension to a coal mine near Gunnedah in New South Wales. And bingo! The Federal Court judge, Morty Bromberg, he used to be from the Labor left, said that minister actually had a duty of care to these children to protect them from this dangerous mine. The children were rapt.
This is the first time a court of law anywhere in the world has recognised that a government minister has a duty of care to protect young people from the catastrophic harms of climate change. The court accepted our evidence that the emissions released from the mining and burning of fossil fuels will contribute to serious and wide-ranging physical, mental and financial harm to young people.
This is weird. I mean, one extension to one mine in one state of one country in the whole world is going to do all that harm? In fact, Judge Bromberg's judgment went the full global warming catastrophist. I mean, Greta Thunberg couldn't have painted a blacker future. He said the Great Barrier Reef would die if we didn't stop global warming, when in fact the latest study shows reef cover is around record levels. And just read the rest of his amazing rant. As Australian adults know their country, Australia will be lost. And the world as we know it, gone as well. The physical environment will be harsher, far more extreme and devastatingly brutal when angry. Angry like the planet is actually an inanimate object. And lives will be cut short in what might fairly be described as the greatest intergenerational injustice ever inflicted by one generation of humans upon the next. In fact, the evidence suggests the very opposite. Grain crops here and around the world have just set new records. Life expectancy has grown. Your chances of dying in a natural disaster have never been lower. And Britain's Office of National Statistics this year reckoned that global warming had in fact saved 500,000 lives just in Britain this century, because cold is deadlier than heat. So, how on earth did a judge get such a bizarrely dark view of our global warming future? How could anyone think that this one mine extension would make the slightest measurable difference? Anyway, the good news is that the full court of the Federal Court has thrown out Bromberg's judgment, neck and crop. As one of the judges put it, I am not persuaded that it is reasonably foreseeable that the approval of the extension project will be the cause of personal injury to the respondents, those children. But I ask you, did this really need to be said? Are we really so freaked by this insane global warming scare? I tell you, reason in this country is hanging by a thread. Thank God for these 3 judges today for stopping that thread from snapping.